Book Buzz, HarperCollins Book Buzz. Check it out. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Book Buzz, HarperCollins Book Buzz. Brought to you by Library Love Fest.
Hello. Hi, everyone. We're coming back on screen. We just love that video so much. And thanks to our great art department for making that for us. I hope everyone's excited because we're back with another episode of Galley Club. Yay. Virginia couldn't be here today, but she sends her love. And we're here to give you a little recap of our first selection that was last month. And then we're going to reveal our new selection for March. I can't believe it's March. Got to get on those January resolutions I put in. And then we're going to give some shout outs to people who may or may not have guessed correctly on social media what our book was going to be. And then we're going to do a little book buzz for you. So don't leave after the book is told to you because we have a lot more in store. But I think to kick it off, we just wanted to give you all a really big thank you for making, sorry, there's a horn outside, making
celebrating
Galley Club such a success. So we did our first group activity called Galley Club. It's a monthly book that we're selecting to kind of dive deep into. The first month we did was February. We unveiled it. And we did 3 episodes that month with a little extra one at the end. But the way Galley Club works, if you're new, welcome. And Galley Club works is we pick a book the first week, like we're doing this week, first of the month. And then first Tuesday of the month, I guess I should say. Then we'll pick the book, we'll do a book buzz. You'll get plenty of other books in there. Don't worry, you're not missing out. And then the second week of the month, we will bring on someone from the team, bring on, an editor. Last month we had the publisher, we had the editor, we had the AP. So you'll get to hear behind the scenes of how the book was made or how the artwork was made or how the audiobook was made. It just kind of depends on who's coming on. And then we will also have some books that from that imprint that we're buzzing. So again, you're not missing out on any books. And then the third week of the month, we're going to have the author on. So last month we had Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. That was a really wonderful first, kickoff event, and it was so fabulous. And I hope you guys had as much fun as we did because we had a lot of fun doing it. And so that was a roundup of what we did and what's to come. We're going to go into a little bit before we reveal it because we have some hints. I'm gonna turn, and also I'm Lainey, and I didn't introduce myself at the beginning, but welcome. And if you don't know me, now you do. And I'm gonna pass it off to my colleague Essie, who's gonna tell us all about some hints that we dropped. So maybe if you haven't had time to guess, you can drop in the chat as we're giving hints to see if you got it right, and then she's gonna tell who got it right.
All right, awesome. Lainey, before that, did you want to talk about City on Fire and
yeah, you're gonna be mad because I'm really bearing the lead, but just quickly, I want to show you City on Fire, Don Winslow. It is coming out in April, so that means today, March 1st, is the last day to vote for Library Reads. That's a great e-card, gives you a bit. And then the second book I want to tell you quickly is The Caretakers by Amanda Besser Siegel. So those are 2 books that the votes are due today and I have e-cards for, so I just wanted to put it in your minds, a little reminder, and you can find a full list on our Edelweiss catalog and let me know if you need help finding that.
Awesome.
Happy voting.
Happy voting. Okay, so what Lainey was talking about here, and I'm equally excited to talk about it. We just didn't want to forget those. This is our little guessing game that we did for our Galley Club for this month. We missed out on the first month, but we're going to do one next month too. So don't forget to check out our Twitter and our Instagram stories. You guys can keep up and guess Our first hint for this one was the author is a debut author, and this is her first novel, but certainly not her first adventure. The second one, some people aren't morning people, but waking up to this really wouldn't be a good morning. So take some time there. And our last one that we put out yesterday was a riddle. Riddle me this. It's a theory, it's vital for violins, and you can tie it in a knot. You can guess what this is, and you've got a piece of our March plot. Came up with that. It was not. That was fun to come up with. This whole thing was so much fun. I hope you guys had fun with this. All right, Lainey, did you want to?
Well, just before we go on, that was great as you put together all of these clues and kind of put them out over social. So can you tell people next month maybe how they can see these as they come in and make guesses?
Oh yeah, so if you guys check out our Twitter and our Instagram stories, they will be posted the weekend before. That would be Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So just keep an update, keep an eye on it, and just write them down and try to keep track of what's what and where what fits, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun when we announce it on Tuesday, and then we can give you guys a shout out if you get it correctly, which a few people did, and I'm excited to say so. I'm glad that people were participating. So, all right.
All right. Do we want to tell them what it is? We're 6 minutes in. They're going to be like, hurry up.
They're so excited.
Okay. The March Galley Club selection for the month from the Library Love Fest team is The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. Yay!
That was so
great graphic to throw up there. Thank you, Essie. So The Measure, Nikki Ehrlich, we're so excited. This book was, well, before I tell you a little bit about the book, do you want to see, Essie, do you want to tell them who guessed correctly?
Yeah, I heard there was some buzz among the galley chatters, which was super fun. But specifically the people who wrote out to us, they were that was Jenna Fryville, Beth Thomas, Joe Jones, and Casey Davis. All of you guys were correct. So congratulations. That was so much fun to see you guys guessing. And I wanted to tell you were all correct, but you guys were all correct.
I know it's very hard. I kind of was like, that's all I can say, but we'll see you Tuesday. But we got really excited about this one. I know we all three really love it, and it's going to have so much to talk about. Just quickly, if you're not aware, you didn't vote for it. This is the first time you're hearing about it. The Measure is by Nikki Ehrlich. It is a blockbuster debut that has just gotten so much house love. Everyone is excited about this book. Nikki, she's a writer and editor whose work has appeared online with New York Magazine and Harper's Bazaar, Cosmopolitan. And it's, like I said, it's her debut novel, and it's just really taken us all aback because I probably read the first half of this in one sitting. And I know Essie's a big fan of it too. And we just, it's something you want to talk about. And so I think that it's a perfect pick for this group because we're going to be discussing the book with the publishing team next week, but also to have Nikki on and really like dive deep into it. I think, and also I have to say there's going to be some spoilers. So read the book before you come because nothing's off limits. We want you to ask questions and really dive in. But a little bit about the book. It's the Midnight Library meets the Immortalist. It's about so everyone in the world, everyone, like nothing is untouched. Everyone in the world wakes up one day and they have a tiny box on their doorstep, and inside of it, there's a string. The string, they soon find out, tells you how long your life is going to be, how long until you have. It's not really perfect science, but they can kind of, it develops where they can find ways to figure it out. So now the world is thrown into this, like, why are we getting them? Where did they come from? Is it true? Should we listen to it? Should we even open it? Should we maybe like try to understand people who have a short life? Is there a reason that they have one? Are there societal pressures that maybe people have a shorter lifespan? It's really fascinating, and I feel like very timely. It doesn't seem timely because hopefully no one's getting a string on their doorstep tomorrow to tell them that, but it is timely in a way that there are a lot of conversations that I feel like if we could just replace one or two words, it would be like we're talking about the news. Like, it's really interesting to see how a community reshapes and shifts what their thinking is because something is introduced out of their control. So I'm going to leave it at that. Essie, I don't know if you have anything you want to say about the book. Before I just have, and some quotes. I'll let you talk and then maybe show some quotes.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about this one. I mean, talk about timely. The book itself begins in March. It's so, from the topics that she covers to just the timing here, all of it's just kind of perfect. I mean, it's hard to follow up with remarkably bright creatures, but I think this is going to be a really, really great one to dive into and just talk about all the things that it forces you to look at. And yeah, I mean, it's opening up to really, really great reviews here. I mean, people have so much to say about it. Just take a look at all these quotes here. It's hard to fit on one page.
We love Jessica, Anya Blau, Mary Jane. I know we have fans in the audience, and what a lovely quote. Through a disbelief, fully plunge into unsettling but life-affirming world she creates. It's really true. Like, I couldn't stop reading because I just had to know what happened and what these people thought about all of this. It really will make you think too, like, would I do that? Would I want to know? Thank you for sharing those quotes. So I see the comments. So everyone's super excited. Audio we'll get to in just a minute. Thank you for, who said that about, Jenna, thank you for my nail comment. Thank you. And everyone was like, yes, I voted correctly. I got it. Isn't that so nice? Amy, I think you're asking about the 2 books for the library reads list. I think that's what you're asking. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can vote for whatever you would like. Of course, you probably want to vote for something, get behind it that you read. But that is totally up to you. You can submit a vote on Edelweiss or NetGalley. And if you have any library reads questions, then you can go to their website, libraryreads.org, and hopefully that they're all answered. But if not, let us know. It's so nice to see everybody. So speaking of audio, because I already hear some people talking about the ALC, what do we have to say about the audio?
Well, we were pretty lucky. This is one of the few that already has an audiogram that we can use and share, and because it's not coming out for a while, but it was already made, and I'm really glad because now we get to show you a little clip, and it's pretty darn good, if I have to say so myself. Yeah. Lainey, you have a SoundCloud, right?
Yeah, it was, and some people were already talking about it. Julia Whalen, who may come up later in the presentation, little hint for you. But Julia Whalen reads the audiobook. She's an award-winning audiobook narrator and so lovely. And we're lucky to have her reading the book. We have a little clip, but I just want to remind everyone, when we did our first book, Remarkably Bright Creatures, we shared a little clip like we're going to do right now on Facebook, and people were telling us that they never read audiobooks and they picked it up just based on that. So I hope that serves as a reminder to try something new. Maybe you're not an audiobook reader, but the ALC is there for you and you can download it and give it a try. You might enjoy it. So I hope that, even some people say they read it in tandem with the eGalley. So it's up to you. All right, here's a little clip. I don't know if we'll go the 4 minutes, but we'll see.
When the box inscribed with Nina's name appeared outside her door, Nina was still asleep in bed, her eyelids twitching slightly as her dormant mind wrestled with a difficult dream. She was back in high school, the teacher demanding to see an essay that Nina had never been assigned. It was a familiar nightmare for someone prone to stress, but it was nothing compared to the one awaiting her in the waking world. Nina woke up first that morning, as she usually did, and slid off the mattress, leaving Maura undisturbed in her slumber. She slipped into the kitchen, still wearing her plaid pajama set, and switched on the burner under the plump orange tea kettle that Maura had found at a flea market last summer. The apartment was always deliciously quiet at that early hour, the silence only interrupted by the occasional hiss of a droplet escaping from the lid of the teapot and landing with a sizzle among the low flames of the stovetop. Later, Nina wondered why she hadn't heard any commotion that morning. There were no screams or sirens or televisions blaring, nothing to alert her to the chaos already unfolding outside her home. If Nina hadn't turned on her phone, then perhaps she could have stayed in the stillness for just a while longer, savoring the time before. But instead, she sat on the couch and looked at her phone the way she started every morning, expecting to read a handful of emails and scroll through various newsletters until Maura's alarm went off and they debated eggs or oatmeal. It was part of Nina's job as an editor to keep herself informed, but the sheer number of apps and outlets had grown with every year in the role, and it sometimes overwhelmed Nina to think that she could spend an entire lifetime reading and never keep up. That morning, she didn't even have a chance to start. As soon as she unlocked the home screen, Nina knew something was wrong. She had 3 missed calls from friends, and the texts had been piling up for hours, mostly from her fellow editors in their group message. WTF is happening? Did everyone get one? They're everywhere, like the whole world. Holy fuck! Is the inscription for real? Do not open until we know more. But inside is just a string, right? Nina felt her chest constrict, her head tingling with dizziness as she tried to piece together the full story. She clicked over to Twitter, then to Facebook, and it was all the same, filled with question marks and all-caps panic. But this time, there were photos. Hundreds of users posting pictures of small brown boxes outside their doors. And not just in New York, where she lived, everywhere. Nina could make out the inscription in a few of the photos. The measure of your life lies within. What the hell did that mean? Her heart was beating alarmingly fast, keeping pace with the questions in her head. Most of the people online, faced with the same obscure message on the box, had quickly rallied around a single, terrifying conclusion. Whatever was waiting inside that box claimed to know just how long your life would last.
Oh, I think that's a good toe dip in.
God, that is so good. That's so, oh my God, the narrator was just the perfect choice. Amy White just said that it sounds like Doctor Who, which that's like the greatest comparison. So yes, now I think I know why I love it that much more.
Yeah, I see like Julie Whalen narrated Educated, yes, and helped me through that so I wouldn't drive off the road. Let's see. Yeah, Jennifer, I never listened to an audiobook, but I downloaded Remarkably Bright Creatures and I can't believe how much I enjoyed it. And I was able to read it while I was cooking supper, which is nice. So I think that this is a really cool thing to have as a supplement, even if that's not your primary format. But yeah, we're very excited. The measure, like, as you can see from that clip, it seems weirdly attuned to our times, and it kind of interconnects with a lot of different people that go in and out from each other's lives, some who know them and like you'll recognize them from the book. And I think it does a really great job of encapsulating a whole cast of characters that kind of anyone could relate to. Yeah, it's a fun read, and it's got a little bit of something for everyone, a little romance, a little mystery, a little, yeah.
Well said.
Okay, so what's next, Missy? I can't remember the slide order.
Well, we're gonna jump into our book buzz, but we did just
Okay.
want to mention that our newsletter is coming out, so you can catch on to all of this if you missed it, or if you just, need a little reminder. It's all going to be in the newsletter.
Yeah, we're gonna make a special newsletter with like our announcement and all of the links so you can RSVP and get notifications. So don't worry. Also, now that it's revealed, we can share our Edelweiss link for today with the books we're going to discuss, including the audio eGalley and eGalley for the measure. So yeah, subscribe to our newsletter if you don't already. That's on our website, librarylovefest.com. We'll get that out to you. Let's see. All right.
I think we could
Moving on
dive
to the
in.
book buzz.
Dive into our book buzz.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. we begin.
Okay, so our Gin by Diane McKinney Whetstone. So Diane is the author of the critically acclaimed novels Tumbling, Tempest Rising, Blues Dancing, Leaving Cecil Street, Trading Dreams at Midnight, so many. And she's the recipient of multiple awards, including the American Library Association's Black Caucus Literary Award for Fiction, which she won twice. So no stranger to the libraries. Everyone loves Diane, but her new book, this novel, is so fun. We're very excited about this one. So the Gin in this story is short for sexagenarian, an upscale 55 plus community located in the suburbs of Philadelphia. The main character is Cynthia, but she befriends the Gin's two older Black residents, Block and Tish, as well as Lavia, who everyone assumes is from India. And they regularly convene to smoke weed and line dance and debate politics, and it's super fun. They have a lot of fun. There's camaraderie. They're really good friends, and it's just kind of a fun read and overall. But beneath the fun, there's this darker storms are looming. Within its walls, there's like a lot of secrets, and so it shifts the narrative between the characters past and present, and it really captures, like, in a really humorous but poignant and beautifully written way, this tenderness and like these plights of these not yet older but not yet young people coming to mean this acceptance of life and the finality of it all. And I think, with the popularity of shows like Grace and Frankie, or like the perennial Golden Girls, everyone loves stories of older women kind of coming into their own. And this is going to be right next to it. So we're very excited. It comes out in July. And it's going to be a definite read. So that's Our Gin by Diane McKinney Whetstone.
Okay, moving on to Groupies. Okay, when I was a kid, I had no idea what it meant to be a groupie besides hanging out with your favorite band. And so one day I told my mom that that's exactly what I wanted to be. And she has not let me live it down since, ever. She just does not let me forget. Clearly, my idea of being a groupie was not reality, and this is kind of what that book plays with. Groupies is a gritty, it's gritty and it's grungy and it's glittery and it's all the things that have us drawn to these rock stars that we fall in love with, who are just never going to know our name. If you like Daisy Joan and the Six, or Mary Jane even, this is the book for you. The author of Mary Jane said, Jessica Anya Blau, the author of Mary Jane, said that Fawn, the main character here, is lovable, believable, and wonderfully drawn, who will remain in my heart and in my mind for a very, very long time. So who is Fawn? She is the main character. It's 1977, and she is in love with rock and roll. After the death of her mother, Fawn grabs her Polaroid, drops out of college, and sets off to live life on the road. On the way, she reconnects with her friend, who happens to be dating the lead singer of a superstar rock band, and hypnotic admiration begins. But it's not just the band that captures her eye and her lens, it's also the girls who are following them around and their stories too. So I think this world is dazzling, and it's hard to feel bad about yourself, like especially for Fawn, when she's surrounded by so much music and her muses and magic, and the soaring confidence that she gets, it kind of comes at a price, namely one that hits her bank account and her friendships and love. And it's just her becoming reckless with everything because she's in a reckless world. And this is just equal parts coming of age and a look at fame, desire, and the media, and just how it looks through a drug and music fueled haze that surrounds all of them. And these girls who have so much to give, surrounded by people who just want to take and take and take. I can't recommend it enough. That is Groupies by Sarah Priscus.
Okay, When We Were Bright and Beautiful by Jillian Medoff. So This one, I can't even tell you how much in-house love and praise we're getting for this. I have a whole sheet. I will not read them all to you, but just know that it is vast. So Jillian is the author of the national bestseller I Couldn't Love You More, as well as the novels This Could Hurt, Good Girls Gone Bad, and Hunger Point. So this is her fifth novel, the fourth with us at HarperCollins. And she's kind of a beloved house author, but we really think that this book has just captivated so many people that it's really gonna propel her, and everyone's really gonna dive in, and then they have a great backlist to go from here. But this is a deeply emotional family drama. It's set in Manhattan's glittering Upper East Side. We have Casey Quinn, who is 23, and she kind of isn't into this whole like money. She knows one thing: money can't buy happiness, but it's better to have it. So her family has the money, and two, their family just really matters the most. And when her younger brother Billy is a junior at Princeton, he is arrested for assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Cassie rushes back to Manhattan and really joins forces with her big brother and her parents and her big brother, yeah. And they scramble to hire the best legal minds to figure out what's happening. Billy kind of fits this really like known kind of profile of someone who could fall into being a sex offender. Like he's white, athletic, and privileged, and so he's got this privilege that kind of wraps him up. People don't really believe that he didn't do this, and the headlines just keep being made, and juries are kind of swayed because of this. Meanwhile, Cassie struggles to understand why his ex would go that far. She herself has her own past, with someone who left her shattered, and so she's trying to reconcile all of these things. And then also reporters are just converging all over their uptown Upper East Side landmark building, and it becomes a media saturated trial. She vows to just do whatever she can to save her brother, even if that means telling her own dark secrets. The editor told me that she really thinks that My Dark Vanessa is a good comp for this and could appeal to people who really loved The Paper Palace that came out last summer. And we loved My Dark Vanessa so much. And I'm telling you, I have started this book, and I'm head diving in. Like I find it so captivating from the beginning. And some of the great praise, so we have our early author endorsements like Amy Malloy, who wrote The Perfect Mother and Goodnight Beautiful. Loved that book. Good twist. She said, it blew me away. Her gripping exploration of wealth, consent, and complicity tells the story of a loving family's unraveling with the propulsive pace of the best thrillers. A masterful achievement. We have some other authors too, Joanna Rakoff, and there's so much in-house praise, including Bethany Johnsrud, who you probably recognize that name. She comes with us to some of our conferences, so you might recognize her. She's a national accounts rep. We love Bethany. She said, I was hooked by the narrator and her POV immediately. Not a single page disappointed me. It's timely and touchy, to say the least, and I was so glad to find the author treated it with nuance and care, and has succeeded in crafting a narrative that is so compulsively readable. She's absolutely a fan, and I thought that was a really great way to sum it up. I just want to read the quote at the beginning of this book, which it made me like, I gotta read this. So the quote at the beginning: and above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. 1 Peter 4:9. That's all I'm going to say. That's When We Were Bright and Beautiful by Julian Medoff, and it comes out in August.
Excellent. That was a great quote.
Yeah.
Okay. This is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This comes out in August. There's not a quote, but it is a question, and I think it's also really great. So I just want to take a moment to say it. Can powerful institutions be changed from within, or does revolution always require violence? All right. This is the year 1828. Robin Swift, orphaned in Canton, is brought to London by the mysterious Professor Lavelle. There, he trains for years in Latin, ancient Greece, and Chinese, all in preparation for the day he'll enroll in Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation, also known as Babel, otherwise known as a utopia of knowledge for Robin. Babel is the world's center for translation, and more importantly, my favorite part, magic. Silverworking, the art of manifesting the meaning of lost in translation, or the art of manifesting meaning for words that have been lost in translation using enchanted silver bars, has made the British unparalleled in power, and its knowledge serves the empire's quest for colonization. And knowledge obeys power. And as a Chinese boy raised in Britain, Robin realizes that serving Babel kind of means betraying his motherland. As his studies progress, Robin finds himself caught between Babel and the shadowy Herm Society, an organization dedicated to stopping imperial expansion. So when Britain pursues an unjust war with China over silver and opium, Robin realizes that he has a huge decision to make here. I hate to say that this is a timely book, but it is. And it's also a highly, highly acclaimed series that was nominated for a Hugo Award for Best Series. And just one page into this book, one chapter, and you understand why this is a standalone novel. It's new characters, new settings, but at the same time, it still carries all the themes and lore and depth that makes her books just as captivating as they are. People love her for her creativity and her authenticity, given that she is a Chinese American and a student of Chinese history. So she's so young and she's so talented, and she managed to rattle the fantasy community to its core, which is just very impressive. Just please check it out and see for yourself why so many people are excited for Babel. That is, you're up.
Yeah. All right, everybody's excited for Babel, and I think these other books, but let us know what you're excited for. You have that Edelweiss link, so you can download all the galleys that are available. I might have told you that Julia Whalen would make another appearance in this episode, and here you go. So Thank You for Listening by Julia Whalen. I am so excited. I was so excited when I heard that we had another book by her. Julia, if you don't know her, is a lifelong actor with lots of insight into Hollywood, and she's an award-winning audiobook narrator, like I said. And we also talked about education, which such a good job narrating that. She really has put all of that into this book. It's fun and an aspect of the book business not really seen before, which is audiobooks. And her debut novel, My Oxford Year, I don't know if you guys read that, but it was so great. It was witty and charming and delightful, but it's pretty sad. I have to admit, I get the tissues in a good way. Like, I welcome it, but I'm here to promise you that this one is so much less sad. It's emotional, but not devastating. And just like the last one, it's really good for book clubs. There's going to be a lot to talk about. So Swanee in this book is the main character. She's an audiobook narrator, and her acting career is behind her. Her success behind the mic has allowed her to take care of her ailing grandmother. And after a whirlwind night in Vegas, she returns home and finds out that one of the world's most beloved romance novelists wanted her to perform her last book before she passed. And she wanted her to do it with Brock McKnight, the industry's hottest voice. She doesn't really buy into what romance novels are selling, but her familial obligations and respect for the author make her resurrect her old romance pseudonym. And she and Brock forge a real connection hidden behind the comfort of not using their real names. And it's really beautiful. And there's a terrific romance at the heart of it, but lots of fun with these two narrators falling in love over text. I think of I'm blanking on the name, but that Jenny Colgan book, 500 Miles from You, like where you don't really see them together, but you kind of see their conversations back and forth. That's the same with this. And there's a library hardcover and a PS section with discussion questions and bonus material in the back. So like I said, perfect for book clubs. And we're very excited to have Julia Whalen back on our list.
Okay. Razzmatazz by Christopher Moore. I just really love this book. And while I can understand that Christopher Moore's writing maybe isn't for everyone, this is the funniest book that I've read in a very long time. It just picks up from the first page and keeps going. It's like the Energizer Bunny of books. How does he do it? This book is all the better if you could put on your best like 1940s mobster accent while reading it. Okay, picture this. San Francisco, 1947. God, I don't even really know where to begin. First, all of our beloved characters last seen in Noir are on the hustle. Everyone has something completely different going on. There's murders, there's drag kings, mayhem, ancient statues of the powerful rain dragon, and it's fun. It's just you settle down for it and you just go on a ride. I just wanted to show the library reads card that we just had created for it as well. Because I think this book list review here kind of says it all. Can't even really talk about the story. You just need to know that it's Christopher Moore who wrote it. And by that alone, it's going to be really just great and fun. Just there's literally a laugh on every page of this book, several on some pages. And with its fast-paced, deliberately helter-skelter storyline, it sinks its hooks deeply and never lets go. That is just perfect. That says it all. This comes out in May 17th, 2022. So don't forget your votes and don't forget to check it out.
Okay, little correction corner. I misread. I was reading. That's what you get for doing 10 things at once. Not the author's last book of all past. Her past book, author is still alive, and Julie Whalen's book about, I said that the past book that they want her to narrate for the romance novel, it's her past book. She's still there. Okay, little correction. Also, I think some people are having some issue with the Edelweiss catalog.
That.
So I tried to open it. Everybody click and see if it works now. If it doesn't, let me know. We'll fix it for you, but I think it should be good now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that hey, we're all human. We're all here trying to make everything go as seamlessly as possible, but things happen. So thank you for your patience. Okay. So the last book I want to talk about, I'm super excited for Sarah MacLean's new book in her Hell's Bells series. The first was Bombshell. That was the first of the series that came out last August. I only know the date because it was on my birthday, August 24th. And this is her second in the series called Heartbreaker. Yes, I see lots of love for Sarah MacLean coming in. Sarah is just the smartest person. Like, I want to hear her talk to me about life, but also about romance novels. And I could just listen to her forever because she just has so much knowledge about romance writing and romance writers and like what goes into it when you are trying to understand yourself through these romance lenses. It's super fascinating. We did a podcast episode with her for her first book in this series, Bombshell, and I think it is a good listen for this book because she kind of dips into what the series is about and gives a little background to the history and the research she did to start the series. So thank you, Essie, for adding that in. I'm suggesting you listen to that, even though it's for the book prior. But all of these books in this series are Victorian historical romances about 4 aristocratic women. They solve their problems and the problems of ladies around them and keep them from falling into ruin. But they're kind of on the darker path, and they all have an unusual set of skills to get things done. And in this book specifically, we have Adelaide, who was raised among London's most notorious criminals. That's the darker part I was talking about. And she has found herself in the bright ballrooms of Mayfair. She kind of is masquerading as this quiet wallflower, and she feels like she's very plain and unassuming, so no one's going to kind of see her. And she uses these superior skills that she has as a thief and helps brides avoid the altar she's coming in and out. And then we have Henry, Duke of Claiborne, who has spent a lifetime living in perfection. Everything has to be a certain way, and he has a really impeccable reputation. And the last thing he needs is really a frustrating woman discovering the truth of his past and kind of calling him on it. So the two of them now, obviously, we have to put them together, right? So they find themselves on this journey across Britain. They're going to stop a wedding, and now maybe he's finding a so-called like frustrating, fascinating woman to be kind of someone who frustrates and fascinates him. And soon she uncovers some of his truths and kind of his well-laid plans into chaos. So it's really set up to be a fun romantic read, but only as Sarah MacLean can do it. She's so fabulous. And if you don't listen to her podcast and you're interested in romance novels, listen to Fated Mates. It's super cool. And this book, Heartbreaker, comes out in August 23rd this year. And it's a mass market, but also a library hardcover edition. And I'm seeing that the catalog is working. So thank you for testing that out for us and all of the cover love. You guys are so great. And we always love talking to you. And I see, like, where did I see that? One of the first ones, someone wrote and said that this was like the best part of their Tuesday. I'm sorry, I can't find it, but thank you. We enjoy this part of our Tuesday too, telling you all about new books, telling you about our Galley Club selection. I am so happy that people guessed and they're interested in it. And it's a really special one. I hope you dip in. Like I said, when you come back, you're going to want to have read it because you're going to want to discuss it with people. I want to discuss many parts, so I understand.
Awesome. All right, that leads us to our very, very last book that we are talking about today, which is Holding Her Breath by Emer Ryan. Okay, Holding Her Breath is about a young woman who has, yes, had her dream of being an Olympic swimmer crushed by a breakdown, but now she also has a chance to reinvent herself as she starts college, which I think is something we can all kind of relate to. Upon becoming friends with a bunch of English majors, so the book nerds on campus, we all know them, probably were them at one point, she finds out that her late grandfather is a beloved poet in her new circle, and then finds out that this new circle might know more about her family history than she does. So this starts a quest for her to find the truth, and it leads her down paths that she never really saw herself heading down ever, which I think really feeds into the theme of this book. It's for anybody who thought their life would be one way, and it turns out completely different. You know, it's for somebody who just, if you get drowned by your own ambitions and you have to just kind of come up and breathe a minute and just catch your breath and just reorganize your life and figure out which way you want to go. It tackles all of this. It's just the feeling of being young and confused and not knowing, you know, who you are anymore because you base so much of your identity on something that doesn't work for you anymore. That's not there anymore. So now you have to figure out who you are all over again. And you have to do this with this looming secret in your new circle of friends of who your grandfather was and why they love him so much and why they know so much about him more than you do. And just all the questions that you ask your family, your friends, yourself, just to get to the idea of who you are and what you want for yourself. It's a very, very good book to read. And Emer is a beloved Irish writer. I was watching an interview with her earlier today, and she's just the brightest, most charming person ever. And this story is just well woven. It's coming of age debut novel, and it's really easy to dive into. So I hope everyone has a chance to. That's Holding Her Breath.
Dive into. Good
I
one.
know, I have to say it.
Can't not say it. I get
What a missed opportunity if I didn't say it.
Okay, I think, let's see, put it where everybody can see us. I think that's it for us today. Quick, so Essie, can you throw up our Galley Club selection one more time?
Yeah.
So yeah, links will be in the chat in a second for the eGalley and the audio eGalley for the measure. It's our March selection. We're very excited. Join us next Tuesday, to hear from the publishing team behind the book. And we might have some fun surprises for you. And then hear a book buzz of some titles from the imprint, which is William Morrow. And then on the Tuesday after that, so two Tuesdays from now, you will hear from the author, Nikki, and bring questions. You can send them to us before, you can send them during the chat. We'll be filtering them. We're very excited, and be sure to read it because there will be some spoilers, or if you don't care about spoilers, I guess, but you'll want to be in on the conversation. So before we go, does anyone have any questions for us? I know we went through quite a few titles, and we were super excited about our pick, but if you have any questions, now is the time. And we will send out a newsletter probably tomorrow with all of this information in it, so you know how to sign up for any RSVP for any other events. And you have lots to read, you have lots to get reading, and we really wanted to make sure we bring book buzzes to you frequently, so we're not just focusing on one book, we're giving you a wide array. And I think that this was a great way to do it. Essie, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's perfect. I mean, we're ending a little early today, but we just wanted to give you guys a whole bunch of titles that we're excited about, and also just announce our March Galley Club selection. I can't wait until next week, because that's when the trip really begins. So it'll be fun.
Well, it doesn't always have to be an hour. Galley Club is new. We're trying to figure things out, and whatever time it takes to connect with you lovely folks watching. Oh, somebody said they would love to see cookbooks featured as well. Good
I
to
would
know.
love
Thank
that.
you.
That way we
Yeah.
can make something, or try to attempt to make something.
Yeah, we've done that before, and it's turned out. Chris did a book called Burnt Toast and Other Disasters, and so he literally just burnt toast. It was pretty funny. That was his recipe.
I could have
That's good to know.
written that
We'll think
recipe.
about that. We'll bring some cookbooks in. Casey Davis asked for more time to read. I wish I had the power to put more hours in the day, because believe me, I'd take them. But that means you can just get to reading now, hopefully, and start with the measure.
That seems to
Sorry,
be the
can't give you any
plan.
more hours. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for mixing things up. And cookbooks are seconded by, okay, everybody's saying bye. So I think we're good. Please send us an email if you have any questions, and look out for the link to RSVP for next week's event. Alrighty. So we're
Sounds
gonna say
good.
goodbye. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.